name's Delaney Miller. My project is leadership. I'm from Canyon View High School and I am level 3. So this is my leadership project. It is leading with confidence, balance, and growth. So let's get into it. So first I want to talk about the FCCLA planning process, which I centered my project around. So my concern was that I was doing all these leadership opportunities, and I'm a leader in my family as well, and I am aspiring to become a better leader as I will need it in my future. I plan to raise a family, I plan to continue leading in organizations, and I plan to become a physician, which of course requires a lot of leadership skills. I particularly wanted to work on developing myself in confidence, balancing all my activities, and creating better activities for those around me. So what I did was I wanted to get evaluations from the people around me to see how I could improve in my leadership ability, as well as evaluate myself on my own leadership ability and figure out a way to go forth and develop myself. And for that, I created a leadership development plan, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. All right. I'm going to cover the other bases in the planning process, hopefully during this presentation. So first I'm going to talk about myself and what I did to evaluate myself in my own leadership ability. So I did the employability skills checklist from the FCCLA website, and what I learned from that is that a lot of the things I'm doing now will help with my future employment. As I said earlier, I want to become a physician. So using logical skills, creative skills, as well as interpersonal skills will help me become a better leader. I feel like I'm fairly developed in those areas. However, I did notice that I was lacking a little bit in self-confidence, and I also overcommitted myself. That's pretty much what I learned through this employability checklist. That's also kind of what I learned through my own personal summary of my leadership abilities. I also wanted to go over my leadership profile for a little bit, as it introduces some of the organizations and topics that I'm going to talk about later on in this presentation. So right now, I am the National Honor Society President, the FCCLA President, I'm the cross-country team captain, I'm the oldest child in my family, so that comes with personal responsibilities. I'm employed at Iron Springs Resort, as well as a few other activities in my life. I am very, very busy, and so that's why I wanted to help do this project, to help balance out these things and develop a better sense of self-confidence during this. I talked a lot about what I felt I was good in my personal leadership abilities, but I did want to talk about my self-perception and where I thought I needed to improve. I've already kind of discussed that I wanted to improve in developing self-confidence, developing balance, developing better activities. But until this project, I didn't realize how flawed my self-perception was until I did the observer analysis, and the observers analyzed me. And that's when I realized that I rated myself a lot lower than they did as far as leadership characteristics. And I think that comes from a lack of self-confidence, and that just furthered my desire to improve in self-confidence and balance. The observers also said that I overcommitted myself, which I kind of noticed in myself as well. So those were my goals, and that's kind of where I was at in creating my leadership development plan. Before I developed my plan, I also did an analysis of a leader that I admired. I'm going to turn to that page. Wrote a big essay there. So my friend Cassidy is a leader that I really admire. I especially love how she's not afraid to speak her mind, which is very confident of her, but she's also very compassionate, which is kind of where I wanted to be at the end of this project. Now to the fun stuff, we're going to talk about the leadership development plan. So basically I broke this up into 3 objectives. I bet you can guess what they are, and each objective had 3 separate goals. For objective 1, I wanted to contribute to a better balanced life. So for goal 1 of objective 1, I did a balanced life summary. So every other week, I would write a summary about someone that I perceived as having a balanced life. And this made me realize that I really value balance. Before I thought I valued just hustling and working for the sake of working. and I thought that's what made a person admirable. But doing this analysis, I realized what I found admirable was a person who was able to have a family, generate a good, healthy life for themselves, as well as have a career. That culmination of balance, which was really important for me to realize. For my second goal in this balance objective, I wanted to do a healthful recharge activity for 20 minutes daily. So I did achieve this goal with success. I exercised for 20 minutes every day over the last few months. Was it hard some days? Yes. Did I have to rely on lack of motivation and just discipline? Absolutely, but it was very much worth it. I feel like exercise is a very important part of maintaining a good mental health. My third goal was to journal twice a week, and so I would write a full page twice a week at least, and this really helped get my thoughts in order. It helped me realize where I wanted to improve in more, and it really just made my life a lot simpler and more organized, which I really enjoyed. Overall, for this balance objective, I feel like I did a good job at achieving my goals. On to the next objective, which is developing myself with more self-confidence. So, for my first goal in this, I wanted to do psychological research to find out what body language patterns and what characteristics of a person makes them likable and confident. So every other week I would write a confidence summary on an article that I read, and I mostly just learned about body language. I feel like I obtained this goal quite well. Don't get too picky about my body language. You should not be hyper aware of that like I am now. My next goal was to do a daily power pose, and ironically this was the easiest goal, but it was the goal that I had the most difficulty achieving. I think part of this was because I didn't track it very well. I attempted to use a habit tracker, but I did not use it very successfully, and I wasn't very passionate about this goal. For the future, I would set a goal that I was more passionate about that had similar psychological benefits, such as giving someone a daily compliment. I feel like that would have worked out better for me. I also did a confident person analysis for goal 3 of this objective, where I would take someone I knew and talk about why I thought they were confident every week. I would track this in Google Docs. Pretty much all the analysis ones I tracked in Google Docs. And I did do all the analyses. I realized that people who spoke about things they cared about passionately with respect is what I found to be confident. My third objective was to plan meaningful activities for the organizations I'm involved with. I feel like I really focused on improving the organizations I lead through this project. So, for objective 1, I wanted to kind of brainstorm activities that would make my organizations better. So I would just every week sit down, write down what I thought would be a good activity, and a lot of these activities I actually executed in real life, such as our service project for FCCLA, which was making cards for the elderly. It's a hard time during Corona, of course, so I feel like that really helped. We got a lot of good ideas out there during that aspect of this project. I feel like I did it consistently. It was good stuff. I also set out to make a goal to have a monthly activity for National Honor Society and FCCLA. We did establish that. We met at least once a month. I kind of just tracked this rotely. It was good. Ideally, I would have tracked it more rigorously, but alas, I did not. And I actually have to backtrack to get to this goal to show you. But my other objective for this goal was to track the feedback I received from other people to see how to improve these organizations. I could have organized this better. I should have made a spreadsheet for it, but you can't win them all. So basically what I learned from this is that people just wanted more activities. And that takes a lot of creativity on my part and a lot of cooperation on my part to plan these activities, as it is COVID-19 times. But I feel like I did receive a lot of feedback, and I feel like it is propelling me forward in the correct direction. Basically, what I learned and what I saw others learning from me and observing me was that I am actually seeing myself more confidently and more clearly. I'm living more balancedly, which is great. For my future, I definitely want to continue with these habits. I feel like I learned a lot of good habits, and it's super important for me to go forth with more leadership for my future career. On to the questions. So for question 1, a skill that I thought I improved on during this project was balancing my life. I feel like I feel more clear and calm, which is super great, and I definitely will need that for becoming a doctor, as they are very busy, they have to take call, I want to raise a family, balance is of course quintessential. For question 2, a challenge I thought I overcome was that I was running out of time. I felt like everything was really chaotic, and so to address the time constraints and busyness, I really had to prioritize and balance what was important, which this project helped me do. Thank you so much.